Hi there, it is great to connect once again. This is your host, Man at the Table, Dr. Francis Musonda. In our last discussion, we talked about quite a number of issues, but there's some things that are burning on my heart today that we need to go straight into before we continue with the fifth protocol of the high table. I don't know who is talking on behalf of men, advocating for the rights of men, advocating for things good pertaining to men. We are the classic example of something that is trending on all social media handles today. How a young man who is in grade 9 impregnates a teacher, or should we put it this way, how a teacher allows herself to be impregnated by a grade 9 male pupil, a boy child. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I am not sexist in any way. But if we were talking about a young grade 9 girl being made pregnant by a male teacher, we would have seen social media go in flood mode. Everybody would have been up in arms with a pick, with a spear, with a pistol, with a gun, with everything they have to throw at the male teacher. But tables have turned. A female teacher lures a boy who is juvenile and gets pregnant by him, and everybody is quiet. These are some of the things that we need to address. And this is not just one isolated incident. Men at the Table is that platform where we rediscover the voice of men in society, where men go to an indaba, a table where they can discuss issues that are affecting you, the next door neighbor, the community at large, and the nation. I would like to know, for example, what are the opinions of the fathers of this nation, the men of this nation, the men, the boys, alongside the opinions of the women. What are the opinions of men on the proposed constitutional review? What are the proposals of men and their opinions on the performance of the economy? What are the opinions of men on the things that make Zambia, Zambia, and that make us proud to be Zambians? We need to hear the voice and the opinion of men. Let me go into protocol number 5. Of course, we're not done with this topic. We will be convening an indaba of men selected from different walks of life, captains of industry, to discuss the topical issues. I want to meet some, legal experts. Men, come on. I want to pick your brains. What happens to this teacher that lures a young man into making her pregnant? Isn't that defilement? If we reverse the roles, would we be having this conversation or be in the High Court busy submitting submissions to defend that one man? I think it's important and it's time we had these conversations. Now, last week, and I'm excited, we talked about the last protocol. And I think we spent quite a bit of time on that protocol. We provoked the thought, your network. If you wake up on one morning and you don't have any 20 kwacha in your pocket and you have nothing to buy food with or your talk time with, and you call 10 of your friends in your circles and none of them has 20 kwacha to spare, you need to change your circle. Somebody sang a song and I want to just see if I can remember. Nchinjena banandi. I don't know if that song resonates with you. Change my friends. I can't go on like this, because who is going to invite you to the tables of mining? Who is going to invite you to the tables of politics? Who is going to invite you to the tables of banking? Who is going to invite you to the tables of business if you don't have people in your circle, men and women, that can bring you on the inner side? Remember, protocol number 1, sitting at the table is always by invitation. So who's going to invite you? If you have such a circle, you need to start breaking it up and bringing in other people into that circle. We covered all that. Today I want to start with a very interesting attribute, and we're moving on to number 5, protocol number 5, which is loyalty. Protocol number 5, which is loyalty. Loyalty is a protocol you find on many different types of tables. You need loyalty in politics. We just see Honorable Gary Nkombo demonstrate that loyalty with his exit statement, his exit interview, which I think was, par excellence. He just nailed it. He says, look, thank you for the opportunity. I remain loyal to the party. I remain loyal to the appointing and the disappointing authority. I think that is classic. Loyalty in good times, loyalty in bad times. I want to take a leaf from 2 Samuel, I think it's chapter 17, about 2 gentlemen that demonstrate the value of loyalty. Loyalty is something that's going to set you apart on the table. People are afraid of people that are disloyal because they know that the next victim is the person themselves who is inviting you or bringing you to the table. I bring you to my table and you are disloyal to me. I'm never going to do anything with you. No business whatsoever. So we have 2 advisors here. We have a case of King David running away from his son, Absalom, who's taken over the throne, and he has 2 advisors, Ahithophel and the second one, Hushai. These 2 guys are very good at what they do. David sends Hushai and says, go into the camp of my son Absalom. I understand he has paraded all my concubines on the rooftop and he has taken turns to sleep with each one of them in defiance and to show his authority. So, Hushai, I'm plugging you in. Go and make sure that you issue counter advice because I can no longer trust Ahithophel. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to understand, Ahithophel had a 100% advice record. He always gave the correct advice to the king. He was relied upon. When Ahithophel spoke, it was as good as King David speaking. Now we have a situation where Ahithophel switches allegiance. When David is busy running into the wilderness, Ahithophel goes to Absalom and says, at your service, your majesty, I will only serve you. I recognize you as the only king. Wait a minute. Ahithophel, who brought you to that table of power? Who brought you to that table of kingship? It was King David. Who are you now paying your allegiance to while the general has not fallen, the king has not fallen yet? You're paying allegiance to his son. Disloyalty. Rule number 5, protocol number 5 of loyalty is very important. And what's worse, Ahithophel even tells Absalom, your father is disorganized, he's in the wilderness, he's running away from you. This is the best time to kill him. Let's go after him and kill him. It took another man who understands the protocol number 5, which is loyalty. Hushai turns around and says, no, Absalom, you will be the one to suffer the damage. Your father is a skillful fighter. This is the wrong time to pursue him. He's agitated. Let's gather every man in Israel who's able to join the army and go after him. All that Hushai was doing is buying time for his disposed king who had been kicked out of his palace. I wish you had a friend like that man. A man who, even when the chips are down, is going to come and look out for your own good. So many of us, we think we have friends and we think our friends are loyal to us. No, they are loyal to our job positions. They are loyal to what we're disposed to in terms of income. If you can buy them a beer, if you can hold them by the hand to go and watch a football match, then to that extent they're loyal to you. The moment you go down, the moment you don't have money, the moment you don't have that flash job, then they disappear because they were friends of your office, not friends of the person that you are. Loyalty is important. Now, when King David bounces back, what happens? Loyalty rule number 5. Loyalty, loyalty, loyalty. Ahithophel cannot handle the heat. The king is back. Ahithophel suddenly realizes that he violated rule number 5. The protocol number 5, which is loyalty. He runs away from the king, and Ahithophel, it's the last time we hear from him, he takes his life. Loyalty will always end up in destruction. Loyalty will always disenfranchise you from opportunities. Men, if you're listening to me, On those tables that you're being invited today, tomorrow, next week, remember loyalty. Protocol number 5, loyalty. Allow me to move on to the next protocol, and I hope we've got time to cover this. I want us to talk about value, which is protocol number 6, value. A lot of people misunderstand the term value. Most people think that value is money, it's cash. When I say value, the most immediate thought that comes to a person's mind is how much money are you worth? How much money do you have in your bank account? Well, for me, I want to submit to you men watching out there, value starts with yourself. Value starts with your mental state, what you think and believe about yourself, what you bring to the table. One of the most famous interview questions when you go for an interview is, what values will you bring to this role? And many people get confused. They can't answer the question. What people are simply trying to say is very simple. What are you going to bring to the table? What are you going to do different from what we're currently doing? How do your past experiences uniquely qualify you to bring an expansion in our setup to make us grow and leap to the next level? That type of value, intellectual value, value that is like inside, inert, is value that is difficult to measure. Now, when you're looking at the protocols of the table, and we're looking at protocol number 6, value addition becomes critical. You go on a table and you start having a discussion. You must understand that when you open your mouth, it must be measured statements, statements that add value to that debate, statements that add value to problem solving, statements that add value to that business expansion idea being taken to the next level. So for you as a man to bring value to the table, you need to invest in yourself. Men, invest in yourself. Not just in the suit, not just in the tie, or in the pure gold chain that I'm wearing. Please don't come to my house or my car and try and rob me. The value I'm talking about is you being knowledgeable and being able to discuss the issues on the table. Do you understand the agenda, the issues on the table? So even if you have no money, not even one kwacha in your pocket, not $1 in your pocket, because of the value proposition you bring to the table accepts you. At this point, it's important to understand that a table can either accept you or it can reject you. And at the most people get rejected at this point. When value is expected from them, they fail the test of value. If I'm rearing pigs and you are making pork sausages, who is going to make more money? It is a classic. People in production, people in distribution, people in value adding activities, pork sausages, chakalaka, this and the various combinations. That is where the value is. Because if I sell you carcass meat, which could be beef itself or it could be pork, the carcass weight is always suppressed. The one making money is the one who's adding the value, the one who's producing the different products. Be that man that does not have the carcass, but that man who comes into contact with the carcass can now add value and have products spinning off. Protocol number 6, value. 7, protocol number 7, and I'm excited about this one. This one is something we only see in bedrooms in most of the cases, but it's something that the table is lacking and the table wants to see. We don't want to see this protocol only in your bedroom. We don't want to see this protocol only in your house. We want to see this protocol on the boardroom table. We want to see this protocol on the business table, the chambers of commerce. And this protocol is passion. Men, passion is very important. Men are generally very passionate individuals. When we're passionate about something, we pursue relentlessly. We put in our all, our energy, our might. We make sure that with all our getting, we get. Picture chasing a girl, a new girl you are in love with and she excites you. The phone's girl will keep on ringing. You will blow up her phone with messages. The messages that you'll be receiving are not only I love you. There'll even be the king, that message, you know what I'm talking about, where you're sending money. You're sending money after I think you need lunch. Even when she doesn't want to eat, you know you are passionate about getting this girl. And many of us express that passion in our bedrooms because we love our wives, we love our spouses, and therefore the passion comes out. You can see the fire in the eyes, the fire even in the mouth. You can see the fire in the hair. Everything is burning because you have passion. When you go to the table and you're given an opportunity to address a matter, don't be lifeless. The tone of your voice must be energetic, right pitch. The passion in your eyes, oh my goodness me, the passion in the selection of your vocabulary, the energy that accompanies what you're saying, those are the things that will make people convinced whether you are the right fit or not the right fit. You may have the most important points to make on that debate, on that particular table. You may have made the most awesome point, but the manner in which you presented it, no passion. No passion. People judge interest by passion. People judge knowledge by passion. The way you present a subject matter, show that you're an expert. There are people on the table that are listening. Okay? This is very important for you to understand because the next protocol, which is where we're ending today, is protocol number 8. There will always be enemies on the table. There will always be enemies on the table. So if you lack passion and you can't add value, you are going to be eaten by your enemies. Protocol number 8, beware of enemies. There is no table which has no enemies. There are always enemies, it is a promise. Even God himself, he said, I will prepare a table for you, but it will be in the presence of your enemies. There is no way you can completely obliterate all your enemies. They have to see the joy, the success that you actually are going to achieve. And even when you think you've eliminated the last one, there's always a hidden enemy on the table. So what must you do to prepare for enemies at the table? The points that I've gone through from point number 1 to point number 7 is your preparation for protocol number 8. Beware of the enemies. Enemies are always going to be there to shoot you down. If you lack value addition, meaning you lack depth, they will criticize your presentation, ask you questions that you cannot respond to, and annihilate your presentation, destroy the validity of what you just proposed. If you lack passion, someone will come with the same points you made, but in the opposite way, and come and take you off the floor, and take the floor because you spoke in a lifeless way, because you lacked passion. Passion is very important. Your enemies, when they see the passion, they see the preparation, they see the depth, they see the value addition. Your enemies, when they see that you speak at the right time, you speak when you are invited. The enemies, when they see that you understand the seating order on the table of men of influence, they will take a step back. So enemies are supposed to propel you to excel, to reach greater heights. If you ever think that you're ever going to go to a table of influence and there will be this protocol called enemies not present at that table, you are delusional, you are lying to yourself. So prepare for enemies, prepare for enemies, and prepare for enemies. This is Dr. Francis Musonda, your host, man at the table. I look forward to our in-depth discussion in the next few days as we tackle some very serious issues affecting men, affecting the nation. For now, it's shalom, shalom.